Long ago and far away in enchanted lands across the seas lived kings and queens, princes and princesses, good fairies and wicked witches, ferocious giants and gentle dwarfs. Their adventures and stories have been told for hundreds of years. Open the pages and listen to the words, and you too can join the magical world of Once Upon a Time.
The Town Musicians. Once upon a time, there was a farmer who kept a donkey in his farmyard. It had been a faithful servant to him for many years, but now it was growing old and slow. The old creature was so worn out after years of hard work that he could no longer carry heavy loads on his back.
"You useless animal,"
the farmer would tell him,
"you're no good to me at all."
and every day he gave him a good beating with his stick. Then, one day, the impatient farmer got so angry with the poor creature that he said,
"I've made my mind up. Tomorrow will be the day I put an end to you."
The donkey was terrified when he heard these words. So early next morning, before the farmer was awake, he packed the few belongings he had and left the country for the city.
"I'll head for the big city,"
he thought.
"and when I get there, I'll become a musician and earn my fortune."
After the donkey had travelled a little way, he came across a tired-looking dog sitting by the roadside.
"Why are you panting so much, my friend?"
said the donkey.
"Alas,"
said the dog,
"my master wanted to get rid of me because I'm old and weak. He says I'm no longer any good for hunting, so I ran away from him." "Oh, don't worry. You're not alone, my friend. My master wanted to get rid of me because I'd outgrown my usefulness, but I too ran away before he had the chance." "But how am I going to earn a living?"
said the dog.
"Come to the city with me and be a musician. A musician's life is a happy life,"
said the donkey.
"Well, I must say I enjoy a good sing-song,"
said the dog. So he happily joined the donkey on his travels. The donkey and the dog had travelled but a little way when they came across a cat sitting in the middle of the road.
"What's the matter with you?"
said the donkey.
"Are you down on your luck? Oh, you look very fed up."
Well, how could I possibly look happy when my life is in so much danger?"
said the cat.
"Just because I'm getting old and would rather stretch out by the fire than run after mice, my mistress thinks she can grab me by the neck and threaten to drown me. I don't want to drown, so I ran away."
"Oh, that's terrible,"
said the donkey.
"Yes,"
said the cat.
"I don't know what's going to become of me now."
"Don't worry,"
said the donkey.
"Come with us to the great city. When we get there, we're going to be musicians. Everybody knows what a wonderful singer you are at night. You'll certainly be able to make your fortune as a musician."
The cat purred happily when the donkey said these kind words.
"Yes, I'll gladly join you on your journey,"
he said.
"Always wanted to sing."
After walking for some time, the three animals passed a farmyard where they saw a cock perched on a gate. The colourful fellow was flapping his wings and crowing out with all his might.
"What a wonderful noise,"
said the donkey.
"but what's this noise all about?" "Well,"
said the cock,
"I was just saying that we should have fine weather today. But my mistress and the cook aren't too happy about this. They like to lie in bed all morning. They don't believe in getting up early. Because I wake them up every morning, they've threatened to cut off my head tomorrow and make me into soup for the guests who are coming to dinner on Sunday." "Oh, good heavens," said the donkey. "Come with us, and you'll be much better off. You, me, the cat and the dog, we've already gathered a little orchestra together. We can have a little concert. Oh, so do come along with us. Please do." "I would be delighted," said the cock.
So the 4 creatures went on their way to the big city. But the big city was still a long way off, and the happy band of travellers couldn't reach it in just one day. So, when nightfall came, they all went to sleep in the forest. The donkey and the dog slept under an enormous tree, while the cat climbed up into the branches. The cock chose the part of the tree where he felt the safest, right at the top. And then, just to be extra safe, he flew to the highest branch and looked out on all sides.
"All's well,"
he crowed. But then he noticed a bright light shining out in the distance. Straight away he cried out to his animal friends,
"There must be a house quite near. I can see a light."
"Oh, well, if that's the case, we'd better change our quarters. A warm house is a better lodging place than a tree in the forest," said the donkey.
"Yes,"
said the dog.
"Anyway, I fancy a bone or a bit of meat for my supper."
So the donkey, the dog, the cat, and the cock all set off to find out exactly where the bright light was coming from. As they got nearer, the light got brighter. At last they came to the house. The donkey, who was the tallest of the band, peeped in through the window.
"Well, my friend, what can you see?"
said the cock.
"I see a table spread full of delicious food and robbers sitting round it and making merry,"
the donkey told him.
Sounds like the perfect place for us to stay,
said the cat.
"Yes,"
said the donkey,
"if we can get in."
So they talked among themselves until at last they came up with a plan, which they quickly put into practice. The donkey stood upright on his hind legs with his front legs resting on the window. The dog got on his back, the cat scrambled up to the dog's shoulders, and the cock flew up and perched on the cat's head. When all was ready, a signal was given, and each one of them made their own kind of music. The donkey brayed, the dog barked, the cat mewed, and the cock screamed at the top of his voice. Then they all went crashing through the window at once. The creatures tumbled into the room amongst all the broken glass. Once again the donkey brayed, the dog barked, the cat mewed, and the cock crowed. But this time, each creature made his own kind of music twice as loud as before. The robbers hadn't been frightened by the opening concert, but the dreadful sound of the windows smashing made them think hobgoblins had broken in.
"Oh, we're being invaded by monsters,"
said one of the robbers.
"No, all that howling must be ghosts,"
said another.
"No, it's a rival band of robbers who've come to steal our treasure,"
said another. And while they were talking amongst themselves and trying to decide which strange creatures had invaded their home, the leader of the robbers said,
"There's no doubt about it. This house is haunted."
And the rest of the robbers followed him as he dashed out of the house. When the robbers were well out of sight, the donkey, the dog, the cat, and the cock tucked into the feast that was set before them. After they'd had their fill, They all joined in for a little concert. The dog barked, the cat mewed, the donkey brayed, and the cock crowed at the top of his voice. What a wonderful time they were all having. When they'd sung so much that they were hoarse, they switched out the lights, and each one looked for a resting place of his own liking. The donkey laid down on a heap of straw in the yard. The dog stretched himself out on a mat behind the door. The cat curled up on the hearth before the warm ashes, and the cock perched on a beam right at the top of the house. As they were all rather tired after their long journey, they fell asleep and were soon snoring heavily. At midnight, the robbers looked out from their hiding place.
Well, the lights have gone out,
"And all seems quiet," said the leader of the robbers. Then the boldest one went back to the house to find out what was going on. Finding everything quiet and still, he marched into the kitchen and groped around until he found a match in order to light a candle. When he saw the sparkling red eyes of the cat, he thought they were live coals from the fire, and he held the match to them to light it. But the cat, seeing the flame coming towards him, sprung at the robber and scratched him with his claws. The robber was so frightened that he ran straight for the back door. When he reached the back door, he stumbled over the dog. It jumped up and bit him on the leg with his sharp teeth.
Ouch! I'm being attacked by a man with a knife!
He cried. He tried to escape by crossing the yard, but then he cried out,
Yeah! A big black monster striking me with a club!
But the truth was that the donkey had kicked him very hard indeed. By now the cock had been woken up by the dreadful din, so he joined in by crowing with all his might. In fact, he crowed so loud that he made the robber's ears sore.
I want to get out of here!
As soon as he could get away, the robber ran straight back to his comrades. He told the leader of the robbers,
A horrible red-eyed witch got into the house. She spat at me and scratched me face with her long bony fingers. Then a man with a knife in his hand, who had hidden himself behind the door, stabbed me in the leg. I was just trying to run away when a black monster came out of nowhere. There he was, standing in the middle of the yard. The wicked creature struck me with a club, and while he was doing this, a devil-like creature sat on the top of the house and cried out, Throw the rascal up here! I took to my heels and ran faster than I'd ever run in my life.
The faces of the robbers were full of fear when they heard this.
We can never go back there,
they said, and they all ran away as fast as they could. After this, the robbers never dared go back to the house again. But the musicians were so pleased with the little house that they decided to stay there. In fact, they're probably still there to this very day, still performing their rather noisy concerts and frightening all the robbers in the neighborhood away.